8:35 p.m. On top of a high ground overlooking the city, Satin, Uiharu, Yumikawa, Suzuri, and their colleagues, Alderness and Index, takes in a deep breath after running so much. We should be safer now. This is the place where we usually hang out. The middle schoolers, Montgomery, and Alderness approaches the guardrail. The view of the district is what Satin talked about. Beforehand, the girls would see the beauty. But now, the beauty is gone, replaced by the constant dogfights in the sky, Mugino's green laser shooting up into said sky, hitting shearwater naval fighters, pockets of explosions erupting, and the two kaiju, Godzilla III and Bagan, brawling. The immense volume of the roars pierces their ears. God, I can't even describe this. To be honest, I've seen greater destruction in my life. Some even caused by me. But this is up there. Okay, Uiharu, is the signal good? She turns to her and takes out the wireless Morse code machine. She looks at the signal meter on the side. The bars are full and green. Yes, it is. What should I say? Send out an SOS. Can you do that? As her index and middle fingers touches the button.
Hold it! Do not do anything yet!
She stops from pressing down on it by the sound of Euclid's voice. What the? Who's that? Euclid!
Do not send out that coded message. I have a better idea. I need you to send out a coded message to the Destroyer near and Carrier Strike Group 5 on naval support. And tell the latter and any JISDF base that there are 2 Irish aircraft carriers sitting in the Sea of Japan.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Hold on. Why the hell should we listen to you? Because Sir Kamajo and I are fighting the man who ordered those carriers to assist Mizora against Raildex III. Listen, right now, the armies that I brought from Europe are fighting the Celtic field armies in the northern districts. However, there are more in the southern districts that are still running amok. Send a coded message to the JSDF to send in divisions to those districts.
But what if they don't get it? I see them. The group looks to Satin. The girl is wide-eyed, and blue aura surrounds her body. Satin? 3 field armies, stretching from school districts 21 to 23 from east and west, and to the south. The way she speaks in a semi-monotone voice concerns them. Is she usually like this? No, she isn't.
And Satin, snap out of it!
Uiharu, send out these messages. What? Okay. In Tokyo Bay, the crew of the Destroyer near are witnessing the battle from a distance. Suddenly,
Rear Admiral, I'm getting a coded message.
Rear Admiral Izumi walks over to Hino. What does it say? She puts her headphones on and listens to the Morse code. SOS, we need assistance in school districts 21 to 23. 3 Crusader field armies are occupying those districts. In addition, we need naval support. Missiles, HE, directed at the Kaiju Bagan. Sir, what are your orders? Captain, send the crew into battle stations.
Aye, aye, sir.
On the American supercarrier Enterprise, Admiral Halsey hears the message delivered to him by his officer. Sir, I'm getting a message from the city.
What does it say?
It's saying that there are survivors in the city. In addition, there are 2 Irish carriers in the Sea of Japan, and these are their last known coordinates. 38 degrees, 11 minutes, 50 seconds north, 136 degrees, 19 minutes, 23 seconds east.
Send out the 27 102nd Squadrons to hunt them down.
General Kato hears the message from the city in his headquarters. Inform all regiments of the Eastern Army to head in and change priority targets, from Godzilla to this other kaiju. Inform the Prime Minister to put the country in a state of emergency, immediately. The blue aura disappears from Satin's body. Her eyes closes and staggers on her feet. Her friends hold her to prevent her from falling over. Are you okay? I think so. What was that just now? I don't know. The Morse code machine's button starts pressing down without Kazuri doing anything. I'm getting a message back. This is General Kato. We read you. We are sending help as we speak. And we are sending troops into the southern districts to neutralize the threat. Just hang in there.
Yes!
Satin hugs her friend with relief. Oh, thank heavens. Okay. Uiharu, I want you to pay attention to the coordinates. We're gonna send some missiles to that ugly monster's face and help Godzilla out. "8:40 p.m. In the Ishikawa Prefecture, the 6 Air Wings 303rd and 306 Tactical Fighter Squadrons, comprised of F-15Js and DJs, takes off from the Kamutsu Air Base. In the Aomori Prefecture, the 3rd Air Wings 301st and 302nd Tactical Fighter Squadrons, comprised of F-4EJ Kais, takes off from the airfield of the Misuwa Air Base, heading south. On the carriers Dublin and Cork, the shearwaters that arrive from the battle lands on the flight decks of their respective ships. Captains Ruben O'Dargan and Kato Boyle, in the Dublin and Cork respectively, looks out the window seeing more jets land and others taking off in rows of 3. Alarm suddenly blares up on both ships.
Enemy aircraft incoming! What direction? Southwest.
Oh my.
All divisions on high alert! Shoot down those aircraft!
Emergency shearwaters launches from the decks into the air. The anti-air defenses are manned and points into the direction that the attack is coming from. From the southeast, the 303rd and 304th Tactical Fighter Squadrons arrives. 18 shearwaters engages against the first half, but the second half proceeds towards the carriers. The ship's AA guns and missiles roars with a hail of gunfire. Multiple fighters weaves out of the way, but 5 are shot down. As the guns on the ships continues to fire away, the alarms blares once again.
More enemy aircraft approaching from the northwest!
The 301st and 302nd Tactical Fighter Squadrons, armed with 2,000-pound armor-piercing bombs each, has arrived. Half of the anti-air defenses turns to their direction and unloads with a wave of gunfire. But the squadrons are flying in low, almost 100 feet above the water. They dodge and weave the gunfire, and many of them deploy chaff and flares, steering the missiles fired at them away. The F-4EJs gets closer to the carrier Cork.
Dropping payloads!
2 bombs each drops from the jets. They bank away as the bullets nearly hits 14, but 1 gets hit and goes down. The bomb smashes, pierces, and explodes above and below the waterline, the Cork starboard amidships, bow, and stern. Explosive fire vaporizes the sailors in the crew quarters. The engine room gets hit and ignites. A pair of bombs pierces through the main hangar deck and explodes. Aviation fuel leaks and ignites in the ensuing fires. The ship itself rocks back and forth, knocking down many sailors to the decks as the clouds of smoke rises into the sky.
Report! Damage to the starboard side is critical. We're taking out water. Get the damage control team on it.
Flying over the Nagano Prefecture, a transmission comes to the 20 shearwaters heading for Academy City.
We're under attack by Japanese fighters from the southwest and northeast. We need backup. Over. Who the hell alerted them?
Their radar picks up incoming aircraft. The pilots looks ahead. They spot American F-A-18 Super Hornets of Strike Fighter Squadron 27 from the carrier Enterprise, revealing themselves through the clouds, heading for the carriers in the sea.
All fighters disperse. Do not let one get past this point. Protect the carriers.
All of the shearwaters drops their payloads and engages Strike Fighter Squadron 27. But Strike Fighter Squadron 102, at a much higher altitude, bypasses them and continues to head west. 2 minutes later, they arrive over the sea. The fighters disperses into 2 groups. The pilots can see the JASDF attacking the carriers, with the defending Irish giving them moderate issue.
Let's help them out. Commencing dive.
After going in a massive circle, the Super Hornets deploys their air brakes and goes into dives from the southwest and northeast. Alarms blares up again, but on the carrier Dublin.
Enemy naval fighters, 5,000 meters. Naval fighters? Japan doesn't have any. Oh my god, it's the Americans. They're coming in on all sides.
Some of the anti-air guns aims upwards and opens fire. The projectiles all miss, only getting near misses on some of them. The first 9 drops their armor-piercing bombs, then banks away. The first 12 smashes through the flight deck and explodes along the main hangar and the second deck. 2 crashes and explodes near the island, knocking the crew off their feet. The captain reaches over to the microphone.
Attention all waterbirds. The carriers are under attack by Japanese fighters and air-based fighters in all directions. We require assistance. Over.
8:50 p.m. The message is received to the shearwaters flying over Academy City, engaging Ignace and her battle nuns. Strike Fighter Squadron 147 arrives over the city, relieving the nuns, joining the battle. Grazie Americani. On the ground, on the standing platform, the middle schoolers, nun, former Magicon, and the remainder of Anti-Skill looks up to the skies, seeing the American naval fighters attacking the Celtics. Okay, that is satisfying to see. Alright, Nuiho, give them these coordinates. In Tokyo Bay, the captains of the battleships Missouri and Wisconsin, Cody Spencer and Bailey Warner respectively, receives the coordinates. 35 degrees, 42 minutes, 41 seconds north, 139 degrees, 24 minutes, 15 seconds east.
Captain, the main guns can only go up to 24 miles.
But our missiles can reach further than that.
Main guns, turn 45 degrees to port. Elevate 40 degrees.
The battleship's cannons elevates to 40 degrees. The hatches of the surviving American cruisers and destroyers, including the Near, opens up and the missiles are getting ready.
Fire! Open fire!
The 16-inch guns roars with great explosions, launching their high-explosive shells at the coordinates. The Tomahawk and guided missiles launches from the ships. However, the fleet are not the only ones who are assisting the people and fighters in the city. The 37 Type 99 155mm howitzers and Type 87 SPGs of the 44th, 82nd, 105th, and 234th Artillery Battalions, who have not been destroyed, fires their Excalibur GPS-guided shells. The 70 Type 88 missile trucks of the 8th, 70th, 55th, 18th, and 24th Artillery Battalions joins them, launching 6 missiles out of the tubes at 2-minute intervals. In all of the districts in Tokyo and Yokohama, the humans witnesses a wave of missiles heading for the battle. As in School District 7, the group spots the wave. Further away, Godzilla gets pushed back by Bagan. He shakes his body and snarls. He hears the sound of missiles. The projectile smashes on the infamous Dragon of the West in all directions. Fighting experts and sorcerers sees the beast getting bombarded repeatedly.
All right, we got some support!
Crusaders patrolling in School District 23 are devastated, seeing their god getting bombarded. The whistling of the shells fired from the battleships gets their attention. They all look around them, wondering where it is coming from. The shells crashes down on the ground, killing up to 197 armed men and women. The Northern Army's 2nd, 5th, 11th, and 7th Divisions into School Districts 13, 2, 10, and 11 encounters and engages against the 32nd, 120th, and 88th Field Armies. The Eastern Army's 1st Division enters School District 23 and engages against what remains of the 109th Crusader Field Army. The 1st Anti-Aircraft Artillery Battalion sits outside of the city to the east, aiming their Type 81 and Type 93 TAMSAMs to the west and northwest. 5 spots 8 incoming shearwaters arriving from the carriers. The TAMSAM missiles fire from the backs of the trucks.
Command, we have entered the city. We shall begin the operation.
Roger. Proceed. Any way to get a visual on the battle? An American drone is hovering over it as we speak. They are allowing us to view it. The drone footage appears on the screen for all to see. But what they are seeing is a city they once thought was beautiful, now turned into ruins. Can't imagine what the Prime Minister is going to do when this battle is over. 8:55 p.m. Shokuho and her clique, Awatsuki, Wanai, and Kongo continues to make their way to a safe distance to get out of the way of the kaiju who are still fighting each other. They witness Bagan getting bombarded by missile and shell in all directions, with Godzilla firing his atomic breath at its face. Holy crap! A crash gets their attention. They look to the left and spots Kamajo flying and crashing on its back inches away from them. He stops himself and quickly stands to his feet.
Kamajo?
The shield-wielding boy looks to the girls.
Hey, are you okay? We're injured, but we're fine. I'm more concerned about you.
I'm surviving, that's for sure. The body of Eurycles flies out of the alley and crashes onto the boy. The British Prime Minister sits up and shakes his head.
Seriously, dude, you need to protect yourself. Oh, shut up. You're the one to talk.
They stand up, and Francis holds his broadsword Gaia firmly, facing the alley that they came out of.
Girls, I am not going to force a decision onto you. You can either stand and fight, or get out of the way.
A wall of flames shoots out from the alley. Eurycles digs Gaia into the ground, and a giant wall shields himself and Kamajo from the raging fire. The Tokibadai girl stands behind him. The fire suddenly stops. To continue our story, when the Atlantean Council chose us to join them, I developed a calling for myself as a public speaker. The girls peeked from the corner, spotting the man walk through the flames like a demon exiting from hell. And it just so happens that it was around that time when Atlantis and Mu were having a friendly competition.
Atlantis? Mu?
Long story short, he and this guy, Eurycles, are from another dimension, and Godzilla and Bagan are from their dimension as well.
Also, you were able to corrupt the council?
Admittingly, Xenov had nothing to do with it. There was a sense of jealousy and paranoia that started to grow between Atlantis and Mu. As Bagan gets hit in the head, the pain transfers to Jonathan. Indeed. And even when the council decided to create monsters, Eurycles and I were against it.
So, you had the option to not get involved, but you did? Why?
It was not peer pressure. It was because our parents were used as leverage in order for the creation of Azora. And even when we did what they told us, they still killed them. His axe hammer glows white as the man grows angrier.
Me just thinking about it pisses me off!
He swings Hades to his left, unleashing a fire wave. It smashes onto the wall, but it does not give way. Crusaders of the 19th Platoon of the 5th Division runs out of an alley 15 yards away from the group. They spot them and aims their swords at them. Bolts of lightning shoots out directly towards the group. Tomo gets up, rushes to the girl's side, and blocks the bolts with his magic breaker. The boy's hand strains under the amount of pain. He struggles to keep his arm up. Hearing both Francis and Tomo struggle, the Tokibudai girls have seen enough. Kinoha looks to the side. A fire hydrant has been broken open, letting out fountains of water onto the broken street. She places her hand on the wet area of the ground that she stands on. The water flow from the hydrant stops. With her ability, Hydro Hand, she controls the water with ease. The water sinks back on the ground. She looks to the left. The ground underneath the Crusaders cracks. Geysers of water pops and shoots upwards, causing them to stop firing. Kamajo relaxes his arm and takes in a deep breath. Kongo rushes over beside Euclides.
Pardon me?
She places her hand on the concrete shield. Her arrow hand ignites a gust of wind, launching the rock cover at Zenov. Zenov jumps out of the way of the flaming concrete and rolls on his back.
Impressive!
Awatsuki uses her float dial, or form of telekinesis, flinging the axe hammer out of Zenov's hand onto the side of a building. Kamajo rushes over, balling his fist. Jonathan spots him and prepares to counter. Bagan gets hit in the face by Godzilla and Sugita, transferring the pain into him and allowing Toma to punch him in the face. Hades flings back into his master's hand and is swung to the left. Euclides blocks the blade and pushes him back. The two jumps out of the way of the flaming Hades. The Celtic leader swings to his right, unleashing another firewall. One Eye manipulates the water once again and hits the flames. A massive wall of steam erupts, covering the area. Francis digs Gaia into the ground, reels back, and launches himself through the steam onto his brother. The two crashes through to the other side of the building. Tomo looks to the girls once more.
Hey, thanks. Be careful.
Kongo nods, and the boy goes after the brothers. The Crusaders that were launched from their feet stands back up and charge at the Tokibudai girls. Another group, the 4th Battalion, runs out of the alley behind them and rushes forward. Half of them suddenly stops in their tracks. They grip their swords and dashes forward. Their swords and axes thrust and slashes into their comrades. The girls are dumbfounded and confused.
Oh boys, I can use some help getting up when you're finished.
Kongo notices Mizuki's stars and her eyes glinter as the level 5 mental out arrogantly smiles, waves her remote, and winks. She knows what she has done. She had hacked into half of the Crusaders' brains and is now controlling their every thoughts and their behavior.
Oh, and girls, have fun.
The girls, including Wanai, Awatsuki, and Kongo, disperses in multiple directions, engaging in the fight. Junko uses her rampage dress, manipulating her electronic signals in her cells to pick up 2 men with her bare hands and throws them away in the distance. She throws the others to the girls to punch and take a shot at. A group of 45 Crusaders of the 7th Platoon comes around the corner. The girl spots them, but they notice that they are running in a panic. A fiery hand grabs 5 and incinerates them. Inokentius walks from the corner and it spots the group of men fleeing from it.
What the?
Don't worry. He's harmless to you, but not to those Celts. Shokuho turns around, spotting the smoking, red-haired boy standing only inches away from her.
Well, I got some under my control, so there's no need to be so rough.
When it comes to the Black Death minions, they don't get a pass. Magical water smashes onto 12 Crusaders. The street breaks and closes in. A pocket of air launches the others off of their feet. The 3 witches, Spearhead, Elvis, and Blackball runs up to their master as he puffs out smoke.
I see that you have your own help.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's not enough. Mind if we help?
Not at all.
The witches dashes forward, joining the Tokibudai girls as the 2 Crusaders helps Misaki up. Spearhead conjures water from her staff, and a nice Hydro Hand catches it, smashing it onto 2 Crusaders. Blackball taps her staff on the concrete, and a wall materializes. Kongo slaps her left hand on the wall, launching it with the help of Elby's wind magic. 8 behind you, big boy. Style snaps his fingers, shooting flames from the palm of his hands, taking out half of them.
I'm starting to enjoy your company.
Don't. In the Northern District, more and more Espers, mostly level 2s, 3s, and 4s, rises up and fight against the Celtic Crusaders. The other European Crusaders allows their help and admires their bravery. To the east, in School District 12, General Brusilov encounters the Japanese 1st Division and its commanding officer.
Put your hands up! I'm on your side, comrade!
The obvious language barrier is evident. But Boba recognizes the Russian language and lowers his weapon. He and Brusilov aims their rifles to the side, shooting the Celtic trying to sneak up on them. 9 o'clock p.m., Central School District 7. Inside of a 40-meter building, a Celtic gets shot in the stomach by a shotgun slug. The three members of Item, Kinohata, Takitsubo, and Hamazura, runs down the hallway and makes their way down the steps. With their snipers on their backs, the former is holding her M870 and the latter is holding his M16A4. The roar from Godzilla outside the building causes them to stop, but they continue on. They reach the bottom floor and runs towards the exit. A green laser passes by the entrance with a Celtic collapsing on the ground. Hamazura aims and shoots him in the head. As the three exits, they spot Mugino approaching them.
What kept you so long?
There were a few asks that got in the way. Chiake peeks over her shoulder, aims his rifle, and fires. The bullet pierces through a Celtic skull, killing her.
We should get going.
Broomstick swoops down. The Catholic battle nuns lands on the ground and immediately engages the 82nd Crusader Company. The 40 remaining Crusaders struggles against overwhelming odds. Strings of lasers and a hail of bullets rains down upon the 50 Crusaders. Ignese looks to the Espers and nods. Item and the Catholic nuns gathers around, conjuring magic, and shoots the remaining Celts. On the platform, Anti-Skill comes in contact with armed Celtic Crusaders of the 19th Assault Battalion. The man HSPS-15 power suit turns around and fires off a grenade from the shotgun, hitting and killing up to 15, but the others breaks through, only to be met with a series of gunfire from Anti-Skill. The Crusaders pushes through and brawls with them. Satan grips the frying pan in her hands.
Uehara, stay behind me.
She runs ahead. She swings the pan, smacking one, then the other. She turns and whacks another in the head. The number starts to become too much. Elizabeth clasps her hands together. She sings one note. A great aura surrounds her body. The Crusaders pauses in place. Their bodies, from head to toe, freezes. The officers opens fire, killing all of them.
Looks like this area is compromised. Come on!
9:05 p.m. Godzilla aggressively pushes Bagan, biting and clawing in the process. Sugita runs and jumps from building to building, trying to catch up with them. He jumps up, throwing his fist forward. Mizora uppercuts Raygon and bats away Gunha. The boy gets caught. He looks to the right. Orwell, the former Aqua of the rear, had caught him with his left hand. You need some help? Gunha smiles and gives him a thumbs up.
Sure. The more guns, the better the odds.
The man spins to his right and throws the 7 level 5 forward. The boy balls up his right fist. Energy builds within.
Super. Amazing. Punch!
He throws his fist forward. An attack crash bursts from the fist and smashes onto the back of Bagan's head. The beast angrily turns, swinging his nose horn. William Orwell blocks it with his Escalon sword. Raygon grabs its tail and drags it by its feet, punching the back of its head. 20 yards away, 2 Crusaders are zapped by powerful electricity. As they fall, the 3rd level 5 runs ahead and shoots a bolt, killing another. White Needles digs into a female Celt. Shirai appears, hitting her in the back of the head. A man with an axe swings from the level 4's head. Suddenly, the man screams, and his body, sliced cleanly, collapses. Kuroko turns around and spots the chunks of him. She nearly gags and takes in a deep breath. Then, her eye catches something. She spots thin wires attached to the side of the building beside her. The wires disappears, and she looks to the other side. Kizaki runs up to her, and the two stand back to back.
Now we're even.
The Knight Leader Marshal picks a Celt out of an alley and steps out, with Cromwell following. The man gets caught and crushed in the hands of Ellis.
Mind if we join you, ladies? Not at all.
The railgun creates an iron sand rope and swings it, slicing through 4 Celtic Crusaders' hands off with ease.
We were getting tired of fighting by ourselves.
Kinzaki finishes them off with her 7 Heavens sword. She ducks, and Marshal's slicing power cuts through 8. He steps aside, allowing Ellis to block the axes and swords swung at him with its arm. Shirai's needles pins them down, and Bisiga blasts them away with her railgun. She looks up to her left. Shirai grabs her and teleports away. The Saints and Sorcerer jumps out of the way as well. Bagan crashes on its stomach with a maddening thud. Godzilla's foot crushes on top of its head. Orwell and Sugita, on both of its sides, swings their sword and fist respectively and hits the side of its face. Its horn glow. The aura surrounds the 3 and pushes them away. A wind turbine breaks from its foundation. It flies, smacks into Orwell, bats Gunha away, and flies towards Raygon. It jams into his left eye. He shrieks in agonizing pain. Zora gets up, charges, and shoulder checks him. He skids on the ground, but he does not fall. It runs over and grabs his neck. His dorsal fins glows. Electricity surges through his body into his hands. Godzilla grabs its face and shocks it with electricity. Bagan roars in agony, stepping back. He takes notice of it, and so does Misaka as she continues to fight against the Celtics.
Wait, is electricity his weakness?
Raygon looks at his hands. Both sparks send them. His fight against the third level 5 had allowed him to steal her electricity, and now he's making it his own. Without thinking twice, he rushes forward, grabbing onto Bagan's head and neck, and zaps it with currents of electricity. Xenop's body becomes stunned from the neck down. Kamajo uses this opportunity to punch his face 5 separate times. Bagan releases itself from Godzilla's grip. Xenop punches the boy away and blocks his brother's broadsword. Still with his hands covered in bolts, Raygon slashes the beast's chest. A piece of armor falls off and plants on the ground. Not hesitating, he rushes to the beast. His electrified hands grabs its face and the horn on the left side of his head. Mizora swings his head trying to throw him off, to no avail. Howell jumps off Sugita's back and swings his purple-glowing Escalon sword upwards. It slashes through the left horn with ease, breaking it off. It glows white and he swings it behind him. It strikes Bagan's forehead. Gunhun gets behind it and kicks it in the back of its head. Godzilla catches it with his right hand. Thinking that he might rip the other horn off, it desperately tries to break free. Raygun zaps it to stun it. Then, with no warning, stabs his left eye with the broken off horn, giving the winged beast his receipt from the turbine in his eye, of which by now has regenerated. Xenop howls at the top of his lungs as his left eye becomes a sprinkler of blood. Kamajo and Euclides backs away, shielding themselves from Jonathan's blood.
God, jeez! This is what the courier has to deal with. Pretty gruesome.
Covered in concrete, Francis swings Gaia to his left, smacking and throwing Jonathan away from the two. The man crashes on the side of the building and collapses to his knees. Pools of blood spills out of Bagan's eye. The horn falls to the ground. The eyeball is stuck at the end of it. It holds its open socket. It growls out of agony, frustration, and anger. Orwell and Sugita lands on the 50-meter building.
Damn! Even I didn't have the guts to think of that.
That's strangely very human of him to do that.
Right?
A blue light catches their attention. The light travels up to Godzilla's dorsal fins. He grabs its face and fires his atomic breath into its eye socket. It howls in pain, with Xenop doing the same as his eye socket becomes charred with burns. Kamajo punches the man with no pause 7 separate times with left and right jabs. Johnny kicks the boy back. Bagan fires white plasma breath at Godzilla, pushing him back. He does not go off of his feet and stomps his foot on the ground. He angrily roars at his enemy, and the Dragon of the West roars back at him. The dorsal fins glows, and the horns glows white. The atomic breath and the white plasma breath fires. Both blasts collides. Both kaiju struggles, but they do not give way. We should get to a safe distance.
Way ahead of you.
Both Esper and Saint runs off to a safe distance. The Celtic Crusaders, Sorcerers, and other Espers notices the kaiju's beam struggle and instinctively runs off to cover. Raygon and Mizora injects more energy into their respective blasts. A cataclysmic explosion erupts. Both kaiju shrieks as they are blown off of their feet. The blast radius increases, blowing away many humans who does not get away. Shirai, Shinzaki, and Misaka are launched into the air up to a quarter mile away. Kiara uses her momentum to glide and catch the 2 girls, but their body smacks on the concrete. Many of the sorcerers are in cover, waiting for the blast to calm down. Saturn, Uiharo, and Index screams as winds faster than sound blows past them as they, Ultimus, and Antiskill are taking cover within an alley. And same with the Togi Vidai girls. Item are underground and waits for the carnage to end. Euclides, Xenop, and Kamajo are blown off their feet, with the 3 smacking onto edges of buildings and broken up pieces of the concrete road. In the 3rd level of School District 22, the roof projecting the night sky, vibration shakes. The over 40,000 survivors becomes worried. Parts of the ceiling collapses. Most of everyone scatters to get away, but the debris smashes and crushes 5 students, killing them instantly. Himigami, away from the falling debris, holds Sphinx tight in her arms. Her mind clouds with multiple thoughts going through at once, unknowing which one to think on. In Tokyo Bay, the sailors of the American Carrier Strike Group and the destroyer near witnesses the rising mushroom cloud. From a faraway view, it looks like a meteor nuclear bomb just went off, but they soon realize that it is far from the truth. My God. Captain? Yes, sir? Whatever happens, we better make sure that there are some survivors. God help us if there aren't.